Hi there, it's Kevin Jordan, owner of Redpoint Marketing Consultants and a certified duct tape marketing consultant. Here with another episode of the Small Business Marketing Minute Show, which is a show that helps you, the busy small business owner, with simple, affordable, and practical tips to grow your business and teaches you the famous duct tape marketing system. My special guest on the show today is Kavit Haria, and Kavit is the owner and founder of Insider Internet Success. And with his flagship program called Automated Business System, he helps new business owners go from 0 to 6 figures of revenue within their first year. And now, at Duct Tape Marketing, we are all about marketing systems. So he's going to share a little bit about his marketing system with us today and teach us about how to generate and nurture leads. So let's hear what Kavit has to say. Kavit, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Oh, my pleasure, Kevin.
So today we're talking about the lead flow and lead nurturing, and I think for a lot of local business owners, this idea that there's going to be some time in between when someone first learns about their business and the time they actually write them a check, and that space needs to be filled with something, is a little bit of a foreign concept. In duct tape marketing, we talk about the marketing hourglass and building know, like, trust, and then having the try and the buy. But a lot of business owners just try and go right from the know to the buy. So tell me a little bit about, what the purpose of lead nurturing is, or why it's important, and maybe some best practices about the process.
Sure. I think it's a fantastic topic as well, Kevin. And I've been a fan of John and duct tape marketing for many, many years, and I've been reading the blog, a lot of the guides. So I'm familiar with the hourglass concept. But what really strikes me is the place to make money, if you like. The sweet spot is not getting people to your website and not actually closing the sale. Of course, that's what converts the sale. But it's the space in between where somebody could come to you and right away is immediately ready to buy, and somebody could come to you and is not ready to buy. And there's a whole lot more percentage of people that are not ready to buy right away. So what do you do with them? And what I like to do is give them something of really good value immediately. Really get them as quickly as possible to know me, to like me, and to trust me. And it could be a free report, it could be a free video, it could be a guide, it could be a best tips document, it could be a cheat sheet, it could be a formula, it could be something they take away if you've got a shop that, for giving you their information, they take something away that you've created, and that could be the value that they leave with. But now that you've got their information and you've got their permission to be in touch with them on a regular basis, you can start to send them emails or letters, or people do it by SMS or by video or whatever it would be. But let's just use emails as the example. You can send regular emails with a regular schedule, all automated, to get them to know who you are, to get the prospect to know what exactly it is that you do, the case studies that you might have, or the success stories and testimonials that you might have that could enhance their opportunity for trusting you, which then moves them a lot more closer to the sale. So what I'm getting at is that anybody who has a business that is driving a lot of people to the business, whether it's on the website or on your landing page or to the store or to the shop or wherever it is, you've got so many people that are coming, but what are you doing to them, those that don't buy, to make sure that you maximize the opportunity over the next 4, 10 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years, to get them to really form a very close, strong bond and connection so that they know who you are, what you're about, so they can move on to want to do a deal with you or purchase some of the stuff that you have.
Right, exactly. And I think something that a lot of people don't understand is that it doesn't really cost you anything to have people on your email list that aren't engaging with you and might not want to buy anything from you right now. And people say, well, they're not opening my emails. My open rate's only 50% or 30% or whatever it happens to be. But the thing is, if they're still getting the email, you probably will see it even if they're just deleting it without opening it. And then all of a sudden, that day when they do have a need for your service, all of a sudden, there's your email again, and this time they open it. So it's not like it's costing you anything extra to have more people on your list than just not doing anything with them.
Right. And for me, lead nurturing, just my own business, lead nurturing is 100% responsible for all our sales revenue. And I say that because all the kind of marketing that I'm doing is to get people to take away some of the great stuff that we'll offer for free in exchange for our permission to keep in touch with them. And just by keeping in touch with them on a regular basis, we'll get an inquiry for a sale, and that sale will come through, and then we'll go back and look at the software to see when this person actually signed up, just to get some statistics and analysis. And they'll have signed up 2 years ago. Right. They've never contacted us. They've never written to us. Some of the emails, most of them in the early days, they might have read. And then they took a whole chunk of time where they didn't read anything. Right. And then they read the last 2 or 3 ones, and there you go, you've got a sale.
Right.
But they've been on the list for so long. It's taken that long for them to nurture. And here's the thing. Everybody has different buying cycles. You go to a car shop to buy a new car, and you may be the kind of person that within a week or 2 weeks, you've made your decision. All it took was one test drive. You may also, on the other hand, be the other kind of person in which it takes 6 months to buy that whole process. And we'll basically create this whole structure of how you follow up with them on a regular basis so that they actually buy. It doesn't matter what their buying cycle is, basically.
Right.
Another example, my dad, he bought a television. I remember when I was younger, he bought this brand new television, the flat screen ones. We used to have the big block ones, and now he bought the flat screen one. It took him 6 months to research a TV that was about $800. 6 months. Can you imagine? And people just walk in the store immediately and buy. But that company that he then bought from, if you look back at all the marketing they did, they reconnected with them on a regular basis through their flyers, through their online marketing, all sorts of things. And all of that is nurturing, fostering a relationship that gets him to trust them, to say, you know what, I'm going to go with this company.
Right. Let's go back to that first contact where you're actually trying to get the person on your list, get their information so you can begin that process. We often speak of lead magnets. In other words, like something that's going to attract them to you so you can capture their information. What are some of your favorite lead magnets? We mentioned free guides, free reports, that kind of thing. Can you give some specifics as to things that you've seen work really well for that?
Yeah, sure. One of my favorites is a free CD or a free DVD, especially for local businesses, because everybody's driving around. They can easily put a CD into the car and listen to a 60-minute or 45-minute or even a 30-minute advice guide where, let's just say you're looking for advice on how to do online marketing. Let's just give that as a really simple, basic example. But if you were selling services on how to do online marketing, you could put together a CD that people could take away for free if they come to you, or you could post it out to them for free. And in exchange, they get to listen to that, you get their value, their information, and they get some great content, like a free seminar in the car as they drive. So that's really one of my favorite ones. I see a lot of people doing webinars for free, which is a fantastic way to collect information and give great value. But the simplest of them all would have to be a guide or a free report or a free guide or a free white paper that they could download off the site. It doesn't have to be very long, 5 to 6 to 7 pages maximum, I think, with some really good information that solves some of their best problems that they have. And as long as you're solving the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 of the biggest problems and challenges and issues, then I think that you have a great guide that people will definitely want to download.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you might be thinking, if you're listening to this, well, I'm a plumber. Right? People don't want to learn anything from me. They just want their pipes fixed. But if you're a plumber and you are going to people's homes to fix their plumbing, they're homeowners. The homeowners have all kinds of problems that they need help with. Anything that you can do to help them save time or money, whether it's directly related to plumbing or not, is something that you can teach them about. And it could be, from you or from strategic partners that you have. You could get a couple different businesses who serve homeowners to teach them kind of just best practices about how to better maintain and care for their home. So there's always something that your target market needs, information that they want to learn, that you can provide them.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the greatest things you could do on any of these pieces is, if you had a 3 or 4 page guide, add an extra 4 or 5 pages, but fill them with testimonials, fill them with case studies, fill them with letterhead pieces that those companies or other clients have sent to you to say how great your work has been, because that's going to do all the selling for you. And It will shorten the lead generation timeline.
Yep, absolutely. We in Duct Tape Marketing, we call that the marketing kit. And I think, I can't remember the episode, but I have a previous episode where teach you how to create exactly that. So I'll make sure to reference that in the show notes. Um, we've talked a little bit about the nurturing process. Can you share a case study about the specific campaign that you've put together for a local business that you can use to illustrate this a little better?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Now, most of the work that I do in terms of lead nurturing is online, but the businesses are offline. So this is really quite interesting because there's a company called Sur 101 in Canada. They have 3 clinics. They're basically a hair restoration company. So people that are balding or have like hair issues, they basically help sort those things out. And here's a company that charges $2,000 to $3,000 for their service. So they have a website which is really poorly done, and they were getting some traffic to it, but they were not doing anything with it. So they're the kind of people that are getting a lot of people to their site and even to this to their store or to respond to their ads. But apart from those that buy, they don't do anything with those that don't buy. So what we did is we helped them put together something called a free hair analysis. So that was their lead magnet, essentially. And the free hair analysis is something that you fill out online. It's a form. And you basically talk about your hair issues, and you give them your name, your information, your gender, your age range, etc. And you may they ask a few extra things, so it's a bit of a longer-winded form, but it qualifies because it then says that this is the right solution for you, or this is not the right solution for you, or etc. And then what happens is, as soon as somebody fills out the form, the information goes onto their database. They immediately get thank you emails. Thank you for filling out this form. We'll be in touch shortly. And by the way, we're also going to send you over the next few days a few really interesting tips and tricks that I think that you'll find really interesting and useful as you wait for us to talk to you. So they get the thank you email, and then over a period of 2 to 3 weeks, they get a series of emails every 4 or 5 days that gives them insights and ideas and things that they could be researching and looking at and reading, interesting articles, news posts, maybe celebrities with the same issue that have gone through the process, case studies, and before and after pictures of people that have had hair issues, and then they look really good because their hair issues have been sorted. And then what they do is the people that are on the hair analysis get a phone call to say, well, we got your hair analysis request, here's what we can do for you, and here's the price. And they have 40% of people that, because they capture the information first of all, go ahead and purchase. And then the rest of people that don't purchase get the rest of the email sequence. Okay. And the email sequence gets them to say, well, if you still are interested, we're happy to help you. Click here to call us, or click here to email us, and we'll call you back. And now that email sequence itself has upped the conversion rate by another 25%. So now they're converting the whole traffic at about 65%. And in just 4 months of having this sequence, they've done over $45,000 just from this sequence. And that shows the power of following up, keeping in touch, building relationships, and generating trust.
Yeah, I love that example because it speaks to such a common problem that I see where a business gets so excited when they see a lead come in and they call them up and the person says, thanks, no thanks, I don't want to buy, and then nothing ever happens with that person again. And that just goes to show that you need to keep following up with that person. When someone says no, that's not a no forever. In most cases, it's just a no for right now. And the company that spends the time and energy to continue the follow-up process is the one that's going to eventually get the sale.
Right, exactly. And just as a last point, I guess, if there's ever an audience that is a perfect match for you, I don't think you can ever get a no. The no is just temporary. The only way you can get a permanent no is if there's a mismatch in your audience and what you do.
Right, in which case you don't want them as a customer anyway.
Exactly.
All right, so shared a lot of great information today. Why don't you tell listeners and viewers how they can learn a little bit more about you and stay connected with you and continue the learning process?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm Kavit Haria, and you can find me at insiderinternetsuccess.com, INSIDER, insiderinternetsuccess.com. And the work we do is about helping established businesses and startups essentially automate their marketing so they get more results out of the work that they're doing, and they get a lot more sales revenue from that. So you can find me there, join our email list. We write a lot of great emails, and hopefully you'll benefit from some of that stuff. And if you ever want to talk, then I'm on social media too.
All right, and you've got a lot of great videos on your website too. I was watching some of them before the interview. So definitely check out that. We'll make sure I put that link in the show notes and the blog post for this episode. So connect with Kavit and continue learning from him about lead nurturing and automating your marketing process. So Kavit, thanks for coming on the show, and thanks for all the great information.
Kevin. It was good fun.
All right.